Very good morning, children. Hope you people are safe. I'm Sheila, your computer science teacher. Today we are going to see chapter 6, specification and abstraction. You know what is an algorithm? What is an algorithm? An algorithm is nothing but a finite. Very good morning, children. Hope you people are safe. I'm Sheila, your computer science teacher. Today we are going to see chapter 6, specification and abstraction. You know what is an algorithm? What is an algorithm? An algorithm is nothing but a finite sequence of steps. What is it? A finite number of steps to accomplish a task or a given problem. It means, say for example, if I'm going to prepare a coffee, we will have set of instructions to do it, isn't it? First you have to switch on the stove, pour a milk in a bowl, heat it up. After heating it up, you can add the coffee powder, sugar, serve it, isn't it? This is all an instruction that we follow to prepare a coffee, for a tea, for preparing some food. What do we have? We have certain steps. The same way, algorithm is nothing but any operation, any problem that you take, there will be a finite number of steps, right? Understand, finite number of steps. It means it is not going to be so on and so on. It is going to be with a particular time and particular points. Fine. So this is an instruction. And always an algorithm must be expressed using a statements of a programming language. You know what programming language are we going to see for now? It is going to be C++. After 2-3 chapters, we will be starting C++. Generally, a problem is actually specified by a given input, desired output, and the relation between an input and output. Say for example, I wanted to perform an addition operation. See, for performing an addition operation, say for example, I'm going to add two numbers. What is the input that I want? I want two numbers, yes, to add. And the resultant has to be stored somewhere, isn't it? This is it. So what we are going to do? What is the input that I'm going to give? What will be the output that I'm going to get? And what is the relation between the input and the output? This is actually defined as a problem. And now what happens is an algorithm starts. It starts execution with the input data, executes a statement, and finishes the execution with the output data. First we start with what? Getting the inputs. Say for example, I already told you we are going to add two numbers. Say for example, I wanted to get 2 and 3 as numbers as input, right? So what happens is first I will be getting input A. Next what will I do? I'll get input B. Then what will I do? I'll be adding A plus B and I'll be storing it in C. C is equal to A plus B. This is it. An algorithm starts with an input data. First we got AB. Then one after the other, what is the value that we had? Means we had an expression to do. 2 plus 3 is an expression that we wanted to do, and finally you will get the result. Yes. Now when it finishes the execution, the specified relation between input data and output data should be satisfied. See, if I add 2 plus 3, I must be able to get only 5. If I am able to add 3 plus 4, it must be able to give me 7, right? So when I add something, I must get the desired output. If I am doing something, I must get the desired output. Say for example, if I am going to prepare coffee, I must get the result as coffee and not as tea. This is what an algorithm actually means. Let us take an example. We are going to add two numbers, but this number is quite large, isn't it? What is the number that we are going to add? 2586 and 9237. 2586, 9237. This is what we are going to add. 6 plus 7, it is going to be 13. So 3 carry 3 here, carry 1, isn't it? So now we have to add what? 1, 8 and 3. 1, 8 and 3. So what is the number that we had? Have a look. This is the number that we are, this is the number that we are going to add, isn't it? 2586 plus 9237. 6 plus 7 is going to be 13. 3 carry 1. Now what are we going to do? We are just going to add 1, 8 and 3. Right? So what will be the answer that we get? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 2 carry 1, isn't it? 1 plus 5 plus 2, 7, 8. There is no remainder, so the carry will be 0. Again, what are we going to do? We are just going to add 2 and 9. So 9 after 10, 11. 1 carry 1. That is how we add. Is that clear? But here they haven't taken 2, 5, 8, 6. Now you must have a doubt, isn't it? What is this 1 and 2? They just represent number 1. This is going to be number 1 and this is going to be number 2. This is nothing, okay? Just erase this. So the remainder will be as it is. So what is the answer that we get? 11,823. Able to follow? This is number 1, number 2. This is not a number at all. Fine. Only this we are going to add and these are all the carry. Is that clear, children? Yes. See, what are we doing is, for this, how your algorithm can be, first get number 1, number 2, as you add one number, how do you start your addition? Will you start it from the leftmost or from the rightmost? We always started up from the rightmost, isn't it? Which is your right side? 6 plus 7 is your rightmost, isn't it? This is your rightmost. So this is how we start up our addition. Clear, children? See, this is going to be an interesting problem. A farmer has a goat, grass and a wolf. What he has to do is, he has to carry all this from one side of the river to the other side of the river through a boat. Fine. But in his boat, he can accompany only one along with him. Okay. Either if he is taking a wolf, or if he is taking, if he can take grass, or he can take a goat. The problem is, if he is going to take the grass first and if he is going to leave, the wolf and the goat will be left alone, such that the goat will be eaten up by the wolf. In case if he is going to take the wolf first, what will happen? The grass will be eaten up by the goat. So this is the problem that we have. Now, for such problems only we are going to write the algorithm. So how can we write the algorithm now? First, what will I do? In the boat, the farmer first will take the, now I am just telling you the solution for this. Fine. So first what happens, the farmer will take the goat to the other side. What is he doing? He is taking the goat to the other side. Now what will be on the side that we left? Wolf and the grass. On the other side we have the wolf now. And from there the farmer will be living alone. Fine. So as he is returning back, now what he will do is, he will take the wolf along with him to the other side of the river. As he is leaving the wolf there, he will again carry back the goat. Because we can't leave the goat and the grass and goat and the wolf there. So we are bringing back the goat. Fine. So we will leave the goat to the other side, to the same place where we are. And now he will take the grass to the other side. Fine. So what will happen? And now he will return back, carry the goat along with him. Able to follow? First, what did we do? See, let me tell you, we had grass, goat and wolf. Fine. So all this from one side we have to take to the other side. So what are we going to do is, first we will take the goat. The farmer is taking the goat to the other side. So goat is here now. Is that clear? Goat has come, reached this place now. What is left out now? Grass and the wolf. Now what he is doing is, he is returning back alone and now carrying back the wolf to the other side. As he is bringing the wolf here, he will again take the goat back to the same place. Able to follow? What did we have? We had goat, we had grass and we had wolf. This is goat, this is grass and a wolf on one side. And this side we have to take things. First we took the goat, kept it here for the first step. So we had grass and wolf which will not be eaten up. Now what are we doing is, we are taking the wolf. He is taking the wolf again in a second trip. Wolf will be left here. As he is leaving the wolf, the goat will be eaten up by him, right? So again he is taking it back to the other shore. Now what happens is, Goat and grass should not be left alone. So what he is doing, this time he is taking the grass along with him and putting it here. Grass is here. So what is available now over this side? Wolf and the grass. Goat over this side. And on the last step, what happens is, he will bring the goat back to this place. Able to follow? Yes, children? This is an interesting problem that we can find. Even you can try it on your own and see whether you can find some other solution or what. Next you have chameleon. Chameleon problem. Consider the chameleons on Chromland problem. This is going to be an interesting problem again. Chameleons of Chromland problem. See, on the island of Chromland, there are 3 different types of chameleons. One was red, the other one was green, and the other one was blue. See, when two different color chameleons meet together, what happens is, when 2 different colors meet together, they change to the third color. Say for example, if red color and green color meet together, they both change to blue color. Yes, able to follow? So what happens is, this is not going to be of only 3 chameleons. We are talking about a group of chameleons. Fine. Say for example, there are 11 blue chameleons, 11 green chameleons, 11 red chameleons, like that. We are not talking about red, blue and green alone. Is that clear, children? So the problem is, we need to arrange when 2 different colors meet together, they provide third color. Now the problem is, we have to find, we wanted to find at what time all these chameleons will be of same color. For the previous problem, you can take any number of colors that you want, 3, 5, 7, like that. Take on your own, apply it, try it out and bring it on Wednesday. Okay. Now let us move on with the next topic, building blocks of algorithm. See, in your basic building blocks, you have data, variables, control flow and functions. What is data? Data is nothing but a raw information, isn't it? Already you people know. What does your algorithm does? Algorithm takes the data, processes the data and produces the output data. For example, there are instructions for doing arithmetic operations on numbers such as add, subtract, multiply and divide. For all this, there will be different kinds of data such as numbers and text. What is a variable? Variables are named boxes for storing a data. Say for example, a is equal to 2. We assign a is equal to 2 means 2 will be assigned to a value variable called a. 2 is a value, right? 2 is a value which is being assigned to a. Say for example, Lata has 3 rupees. Lata has 3 rupees. Here, Lata is a name and she has 3 rupees. 3 is a value. Fine. So 3 is being assigned to Lata. Same. A is equal to 2. 2 is being assigned to A. That is what? The label that we give is going to be termed as what? Variable. The state or at any point of execution is simply the values of variables at that point. As the values of the variables are changed, the state also changes. Now let us take the state now. What did we see? State is nothing but the values of the variables at that point. Say for example, before adding up, a is equal to a plus 1. Right? What are we writing? A is equal to a plus 1 and a is actually equal to 2. Fine. Let me write. A is equal to a plus 1 where a is equal to 2. So now what will happen? What is the value of a here? 2. So 2 plus 1, it is going to be 3. Now what is the value of a? It is actually equal to 3. Able to follow? A is equal to 2. Again I am adding a along with 1. So the value will be 3 and that value will be 3 now. This is actually called as state. The state at any point of execution is simply the values of the variables at that point. The values of the variables are changed as the state changes. Now let us take an example. A traffic signal may be in one of the three colors, isn't it? Either it will be green, or it will be in amber, or it will be in red. The state is changed as to allow a smooth flow of traffic. The state may be represented by a single variable signal, which can have one of the three values: green, amber, and red. Control flow. An algorithm is a sequence of statements. However, after executing a statement, the next statement to be executed need to be the next statement of an algorithm, right? So what happens? For example, if I have to perform addition first, subtraction second, multiplication third, this is going to be the sequence that I am going to follow, isn't it? So once after first execution is over, another execution will be, the next execution will be in the process of getting executed. Thus, the order in which the statements are executed may differ from the order in which they are returned. The algorithm. Say for example, there might be any for loops, looping structures as well. So what happens in case if I am going to write add 3 for 3 times, what happens? The 3 will be added up 3 times, and that sequence will be itself for 3 instructions. That itself will be for 3 instructions, right? Though I write another line for the next statement to be executed, those 3 lines will be itself the same statement to be executed. So this is what they are telling here. There are 3 there is no rule that the instructions will be executed one after the other. In case if there is any for loop, if there is any conditional statement, only that will be executed first. It will switch over. It will not move just like one after the other and all. In case if I just call some other number, what happens? It will move on to that group and it will start its execution. Fine. There are 3 important control flow statements to alter a control flow depending on. In sequential flow, the sequence of statements are executed one after the other. Sequence means what happens? The statements will be executed one after the other. Alternative control flow, if the condition is true, that statement will be executed. If not, the other statement will be executed. What about iterative control flow? A condition will be tested, and if the statement is true, it will be executed several number of times. These are the 3 types of control flows that is available. One is sequential, the other one is alternative, the other one is iterative. Sequential means one after the other, and alternative means true, if condition, true or false. True means one condition will be executed, if not another condition will be executed. Iterative means several number of times the same statement will be executed. See, functions. The next topic is functions. Algorithm can become very complex. The variable of an algorithm and dependencies among variables may be too long. Then it is difficult to build algorithms correctly. In such situations, we can break an algorithm into parts, construct each part separately, and then integrate the parts to a complete algorithm. See, here function means a part of a program, part of a code. Why are we learning this actually? It is because before we write a program, we must know what and all will be there, how and all a program can be executed, how and all a sequence can be established. All this we must know. That is why we are learning algorithm and its strategies now. Fine. See, function. Say for example, function means a basic building block which can be used again and again. Children, to say for example, I'm just writing a program. Yes, in that program, what we are going to do is, for each and every student, I must calculate the grade. Able to follow? Marks will be common for everyone, right? Marks will be different. Your marks will not be the same as another one marks. Lakshmi's mark will not be same as Ravan's mark. Every marks will be different. So for each and every one, the calculation that we do for calculating the grade will be same. Able to follow? Calculating grade is going to be same. Marks may be different. But the formula that we apply to calculate grade is going to be common. So what do I do is, for each and every student, I'll be using the grade system. For that, I can write the grade program. I can write the grade code alone separately, and whenever I wanted to use it for Lakshmi, I can use it. If I wanted to use it for Revati, I can use it. And if it is going to be for Mahesh, I can use it. Able to follow? Whatever. So what happens is, for each and every student, I can reuse the same code again and again. There is no necessity for me to write the same code for calculating the grade. I need not write the code for Lakshmi separately, Ram separately, for Mahesh separately. I can write one great program and I can use it for all the students. That is what is termed as function. A function is like a sub-program, sub-algorithm. It takes an input, produces an input and satisfies the desired input-output relation. Suppose if you are going to calculate the surface area of a cylinder of radius r and height h. So how do we calculate it? A is equal to 2 pi r square plus 2 pi r h. What we will do is, in these two functions, we can divide this as area of the circle as separate one, circumference of the circle as separate one. We can calculate separately and we can add it up together as our same code. Able to follow? What do we do is, we will calculate area separately and we will calculate circumferences separately and we will add both together. Yes children, let us stop with this and we shall see algorithm design techniques in our next class. Thank you children.